If you could tell the governor one thing, what would it be?
Burn in hell.
We're here in Richmond, Virginia at the Second Amendment rally, and a lot of people have a message that want to get straight to the governor. What is your message to the governor today? If you could say one thing to him, to the camera, what would you say?
Don't infringe on the people's rights.
That's right. That's Second Amendment. Don't even play with the Second Amendment. Yeah, you're messing with the wrong thing. You might want to just stop, turn around, go back, talk to your people, and just stay away from the guns, man. Because that ain't the problem. The people are the problem. And we know that. So, and you know that. I see you all the time.
I mean, there's so many guns here today. I mean, there's nothing happening, right?
Yeah.
What message are you sending to the governor today?
Very simple. The governor and all the gun grabbers and liberals insist that all the people out here with guns, if you get all these scary assault weapons and assault rifles on the streets, people be shooting each other on the streets, chaos, mass murder. Yet here we all are carrying. There's nothing going on. So I guess that proves them wrong.
I think this is probably the safest place to be in Virginia right now.
I guarantee you it is.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed.
What message are you guys sending to the governor?
We just want to be left alone. That's it. We just want to be left alone. Yep, pretty much. Just leave us alone.
If you could say something to the governor right now, what would your message be after this rally today, after what you saw?
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You got 500 cops out here. They didn't need one. You're scared. How's that? You're nothing but a coward, taking our guns away, constitutional right. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. Shameful.
You're taking away from the people that, like myself and most of the people that came out here today, are law-abiding citizens. We're doing everything we're supposed to do. When we go to a gun store, we bring our IDs, we do our background checks. So why are you specifically picking laws that affect us? You need to find out how are criminals getting these firearms and then push laws to make that not happen. Not us, them.
What are you doing here today? What are you coming to send a message to?
Well, hopefully that everyone's pulling together for our Second Amendment. Virginia has just absolutely destroyed it, and it's not Virginia, it's our governor. I believe that this right here shows you that Virginia is definitely not for this. And he's supposed to work for the people, so I think he should change it and do what the people wants.
This is good because I was told by the media that this was just going to be a shit show.
Oh, were you also told that it was about a 1 per month limit, and what else was it? Oh, about background checks that we already have? Because that's what everybody keeps
I've heard
saying.
We don't have those.
I went through one, so like I don't know.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm just a weird hippie, but everybody should be able to defend themselves since the government has no liability to do so. So why take away that ability for me to do, especially as a handicapped individual? So that's a little messed up.
Yeah, so if you had one message to send to the governor today, right in this camera, tell us what it is.
I think you should clean up your own house, especially with your choice in costumes and attire from the past, before you worry about taking away people's God-given rights that's guaranteed in the Constitution.
I say that there's a lot of people that came out today to support, and it's actually more people supporting it than not supporting, and I think it should not be touched with, tampered, or nothing. It should be a core part of our country.
Okay. What would you tell the governor?
I just told the governor that if you look around, people they need a right to have a gun, they need a right to protect themselves, and this is a good showing of how we can do that in a safe, positive way.
What's your sign mean?
Don't ban the jewel, we have rights. It's outrageous. It's Virginia and they're trying to ban the jewel. It's crazy.
What would you tell him?
I'll tell him stop right now because all he is a cancer to society.
Okay.
Straight up, he is a virus to the U.S. and it needs to be stopped.
Okay.
There's no infringement that will be allowed at all.
You will not comply?
I will not comply.
All right. You heard it, Governor. All right. Okay, you're next. What would you tell him?
Pretty plain and simple. Thou shalt not infringe any gun laws unconstitutional. I believe everyone should be able to buy a gun from a vending machine at your local liquor store and ammo and all that good stuff. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
If you could say one thing to the governor, what would you tell him?
Hey, Second Amendment shall not be infringed. It's clear.
Very clear. It's written right there. He could look it up if he wanted to, right?
Absolutely, but he, I guess he wants to do the Democratic thing and go with the gun bans and quote-unquote gun control. But a good person with a gun stops a bad person with a gun. So, yeah.
All right, perfect. Okay, if you could tell the governor one thing, your message, what would it be?
We should be supporting women's rights to defend ourselves in our most vulnerable states, and we can't do that without the Second Amendment.
If they implement gun control here in Virginia, are you going to go through with it?
Well, I've said from the beginning I have a little different approach. I intend to swear in, if need be, thousands of citizens as auxiliary deputies and allow them to legally possess those guns that they're trying to restrict here. But that said, I won't enforce an unconstitutional law either, and that determination will be made once we hear what they've passed.
Perfect. Do you want to send a message to the governor at all through our platform?
I think the governor's heard from me and everyone else plenty. He has his mind made up on what he feels will have an impact on the areas that he thinks are important, just like the new members of the legislature. I'm not trying to vilify him or anyone else. They have their minds made up. They have an agenda they're trying to follow, and I hope they're listening and realize that they were not elected on a mandate concerning the Second Amendment. I just hope they hear that.
One more question. Was it peaceful or violent today?
I think we can clearly see it was very peaceful, a lot of law-abiding people. I think they're going to leave the city better than they found it.
What do you think about the gun situation?
I don't have a big opinion on that. Let people do what they're going to do. Everybody has rights, including Juul activists, but, I just want everybody to do their thing. If you want to tote a stick and it's like a gun, you can do that, or if you want to tote a stick and it's a Juul, that's cool too.
Right.
We have rights.
I heard a lot about a rally about bearing arms, and I thought more people would be sleeveless.
Well, you are looking great.
Thank you.
You got some great arms there. Give us a little spin of your outfit. I love it. You have a button or a sticker that says "Guns Save Lives." Yeah. So you're a supporter of the Second Amendment.
Yes. Second Amendment's important. We're privileged in this country to get confused and lied to and disappointed by the establishment and our leadership. Most of the world is not that way because they don't answer to people. They don't have to lie to them. As soon as the Second Amendment goes, we're not going to get lied to anymore. And I'm in favor of being lied to by my leaders because I know they care about what I think about them at night. Yeah.
Our rights are not going to be infringed. We're not going to stand down and sit back while they pass laws that are unconstitutional and infringe on our rights. We're not going to take it.
I think, too often we look at the people in office as our leaders, but they're our representatives. And, Virginia's spoken. You look at the maps, everybody's been holding up with constitutional counties and cities and localities,
If you could tell the governor one thing, what would it be?
Burn in hell.
That's the first one of those we've gotten, but that's your message.
Freedom of speech.
Why do you feel so strongly that you would say that?
I really don't. It's just kind of more of a joke. But, gotta have our guns. Gotta have guns. You have to have the freedom of self-defense. And that's the first freedom. It's that simple.
If you could say something to the governor, what would you tell him?
Protect our Second Amendment in Virginia. We have the right to bear arms.
What do you think about the 5 layers of fencing and a wall that this Democratic governor has?
It's pretty crazy. I've never seen any violence enacted by Juul rights activists. We're a pretty peaceful group. We're just here for the people. We're just here to be out here and do our thing.
Well, I think it's just funny how I've never seen the left work so hard to take guns out of law-abiding citizens' hands while simultaneously not telling you how they're going to take it out of the criminals' hands. It's just kind of funny when you look at it that it's wherever gun control goes, it's just increased violence, increased bloodshed. Yep. Nothing changes.
No, absolutely. All right. Are you going to comply?
No, not quite.
Are you? Are you going to comply?
No.
If you could say one thing to the governor, what would it be?
First thing I would say is Molon Lave, which means come and take it. I mean, myself, I'm Greek. I really do not appreciate, the fact that he wants to put these regulations and restrictions on guns. I was born in this country. A lot of my family is from Greece, but we take after the Spartans. When Leonidas the king said to the Turkish Empire, he said, "Come, you want our weapons? Come and take them." So. It's going to give him a big problem if somebody tries to come up on my land, tries to take my gun. So, that's it. That's all I have to say, really.
I would say that this is one of the last things we're doing before we actually stand up and defend our guns, and you should really take this very seriously. We are conservatives, and we're gonna try to do it the legal way. And I mean, it is legal for us to protect our rights with our guns, but we're going to try to do it with the least amount of violence possible. But you can't.
There's no violence today. It was so peaceful, and they tried to scare people out of coming today by lying, saying that there were threats of violence.
And there were police officers down there who tried to, because there were some Black Panthers, and they were being interviewed by reporters right there, and we waited patiently for them to finish being interviewed, and then I started asking them questions. I basically wanted to know what is the point for the Black Panthers now? And the police officers showed up, and they said that we had to move. And I told them, no, we're protesting. We don't need your permission to protest. And everybody else dispersed, and I told the police officer, that's not right. It's not right. I don't need to leave. I'm protesting peacefully.
What would you tell him?
I would tell him that the Second Amendment says clearly shall not be infringed. There really is not much more debate needed other than that. I believe that if these politicians sign legislation that infringe upon our Second Amendment rights, they should literally be signing their own arrest warrant because they're infringing upon their oath of office to the Constitution.
So no Juul activist is going to go storm the Capitol.
Absolutely not. No Juul activist has ever done that.
If they try to ban the Juul, are you going to comply?
No, absolutely not. Don't ban the Juul. It's outrageous. Not cool.
Not cool. You will fight back.
Absolutely. We have rights.
Okay. So it's no surprise here at a Second Amendment rally, I found somebody that I can directly thank and say thank you for supporting my work, because he goes to CaitlinBennett.org and he gets super cool t-shirts.
Definitely.
Yes, and Liberty Hangout. Give us a little spin with your shirt there. Give us a little fashion runway. Yeah,
definitely.
There we go. All right. So you can go to CaitlinBennett.org and you can get this shirt. You can get so many other merchandise to support my work. So I want to tell you right now, thank you for supporting me and keeping me out here covering the real news and what's going on.
Definitely. And you guys do way more for everybody and for America every day.
Thank you. I appreciate it.